Hello, I'm Eli Wintersheet, and this is Lab 2 Charge Tapes again. This lab will focus on the levitation of a piece of tape using another like charged piece of tape. Unlike the previous lab, this system will be creating glow script using a distributed charge model of the tapes rather than a point charge model. The formulae used are the gravitational force at Earth's surface, the electric field magnitude, and the electric force magnitude equations. Some data and observations. The tape's length and mass were 0.55 meters and 0.00055 kilograms, respectively. The minimum distance to make the hanging tape float above the bottom tape was 4 centimeters. The calculated gravitational and electric force magnitudes on the hanging tape were 5.39 times 10 to the negative third newtons, and the calculated charge of the tape was 5.55 times 10 to the negative eighth coulombs. Now this last number was found using the glow script program. As you can see, that's on the left hand side of the screen. I'll just walk through it for a second. So these are some physical constants. Here's the mass, here's the original charge found in the previous lab, and here is the new charge which was found using guess and check. Here is the definition of an electric field, and that function is called upon later in the code. This function creates the line of charge. And then here we create the physical tapes. I used 15 points. This is my electric field scale. I used this small number so that the model was more visible, and same with the electric force and gravitational force scales. And then we iterate through a loop, creating the charge on each particle in the top tape so that we have a more accurate model. And then down here we simply are creating the arrows for the electric force and the gravitational force. So when we run it, everything cancels out, and these two have the same magnitudes. Therefore, the top tape would be floating motionless. Some assumptions that we had to make for this model to be accurate is that air resistance is completely negligible, and that the tapes both have the same charge. Questions that were asked were, what if we used a point charge system? What would happen is that the charge computed would be less than the true charge, as we could see in the previous lab. The previous lab had 3.067 times 10 to the negative eighth coulombs, and this lab had about roughly 1.5, or a little less than 2 times this original charge. Now, why are these charges different? The first lab only accounted for the y component of the electric force, whereas this lab uses both x and y data, and so that makes this second one more realistic, so it's closer to the actual value of the charge. Thank you for listening.